My name is Donna Nelson, and today I'm going to present to you Babies in the Womb. I have 8 models of babies in their mother's womb, and I will give you a brief description of each baby. Here is a model of a 30-week-old baby in his mother's womb. In other words, his mom is 7 months pregnant with him. As you can see, he sucks his thumb in the womb just as babies do after they are born. At 7 months in the womb, his eyelids open and close. His eyes look around. He now recognizes his mother's voice. He hears, tastes, touches, hiccups, coughs, and yawns. The fine hair that had been covering his body is now disappearing. His eyebrows are well formed. His hair is growing longer. At 7 months in the womb, he receives antibodies from his mother. These antibodies provide immunity from various diseases after he is born. Within the next 8 weeks, before his body triggers labor and the birthing process begins, he will gain more weight and he will develop a layer of fat which will keep him warm after he is born. The fat will also help fill out his cheeks and other parts of his body. When he is 9 months in the womb, he will do like a lot of babies do and switch to a head-down position, preparing for birth. His lungs will be completely developed at 9 months in the womb, so he will be able to breathe air when he is born. After he is born, he will continue in human growth and development for many years to come. Here is a model of a 26-week-old baby in her mother's womb. In other words, her mom is 6 months pregnant with her. At 6 months in the womb, her oil and sweat glands are functioning. The oil and sweat glands help regulate her body temperature. She sleeps and awakens. She likes to nestle into her favorite sleeping position before she falls asleep, and when she awakens, she stretches. She is covered with a thin white layer which protects her delicate skin from the amniotic fluid which surrounds her and from scratches as she twists and turns in her mother's womb. This waxy substance will be absorbed into her skin after she is born. Her lungs are fairly well developed at 6 months in the womb, so if she were born at this time, she has a good chance of surviving. Here we have a model of a 20-week-old baby in his mother's womb. In other words, his mom is 5 months pregnant with him. At 5 months in the womb, mom may feel him kick. She may even be able to determine that a bulge in her stomach is one of his elbows or his head. Each side of his brain now has 1 billion nerve cells. 5 months in the womb is a halfway for this baby to be born, and he is very active. He is learning sleep habits, and mom may feel him move and stretch, particularly when she is trying to relax. He is now big enough and strong enough to kick hard against the outer wall of the womb and dent it. Before now, even though he swam with ease in his watery world, he was too small and weak for his mother to detect, and the inside of the womb has little feeling. Babies born at 5 months in the womb have survived. Here is a model of a 12-week-old baby in her mother's womb. In other words, her mom is 3 months pregnant with her. At 3 months in the womb, fine hair is beginning to grow on her chin, her upper lip, and her eyebrows. She is sensitive to skin stimulation. She swallows. The nutrients she receives from the food her mother eats are passed on to her within 1 to 2 hours after her mother has had a meal. Within the next few weeks, her brain will begin to mature. This is a process that will continue until she is about 14 years old. Here we have a 10-week-old baby in mom's womb. In other words, mom is 2.5 months pregnant with this child. At 2.5 months in the womb, this baby is sensitive to touch. He swallows, puckers up the brow, squints his eyes. He frowns. His voice box is forming. Tiny baby teeth are forming in his gums. He will stretch out and show breathing-like movements. His heart, which has been beating since he was about 18 days old, is now almost completely formed. Right now, it resembles a small version of a newborn baby's heart. This baby's main job right now is to continue to grow bigger and stronger until the day of his birth. Here is a 9-week-old baby in her mother's womb. In other words, her mom is 2 months and 1 week pregnant with her. At 9 weeks in the womb, she is now referred to as a fetus. Fetus is a Latin word meaning young one or little one. This young one's hands now bend at the wrist. Fingernails and fingerprints are beginning to show. Elbows are formed. Nerves are functioning. At 9 weeks in the womb, her bones begin to harden. She sucks her thumb. Her female organs appear at 9 weeks in the womb. Male organs also appear at 9 weeks in the womb. If this baby is touched through the wall of the womb, she moves away. She also moves spontaneously. This is a model of an 8-week-old child in mom's womb. In other words, mom is 2 months pregnant with this baby. At 2 months in the womb, this baby moves and swims gracefully inside the protective amniotic sac. Every organ is present. The stomach produces digestive juices. The liver makes blood cells. Kidneys are beginning to function. Taste buds are forming. The baby's heart is beating sturdily. Brain waves can be measured in this child. The palms of the baby's hands and eyelids are sensitive to touch. This is the last baby model we have to show. This is a 7-week-old baby in mom's womb. In other words, mom is 1 month and 3 weeks pregnant with this child. At 7 weeks in the womb, the baby's facial features are visible, including the mouth and the tongue. The major muscle system is developed. Eyelids are forming. Every minute, 100,000 new brain cells are being formed. This baby has his or her own blood type. The baby's heart is beating between 140 to 150 beats per minute, almost twice as fast as mom's. At 4 weeks in the womb, or in other words, at 1 month in the womb, the baby has grown to 10,000 times the size he or she was at the moment his or her life began. In between the mother and the child in the womb is the vital organ called the placenta. The placenta intertwines the vessels of the mother with the vessels of the baby without joining them, highlighting the very special relationship between mother and child. At 3 weeks in the womb, the baby's heart is beating. At the moment of conception, when the nuclei of the father's sperm and the egg of the mother unite, a new and unique human being enters the world, complete with his or her own unique set of DNA. The small person's sex is also determined from the beginning. The tiny human being begins his or her life as a single human cell gliding down the fallopian tube of mother, and in just a few days, he or she will snuggle into the soft lining of mother's womb to be nurtured for about 9 months. After this child is born, he or she will play a unique role in his or her own family and community, a role that only he or she can fulfill. All this new tiny human being needs is time, nourishment, and most of all, love. The journey in the womb, from conception to birth, is everyone's story. This presentation has been presented by Family Resources Center in Peoria. They are located at 321 Main Street, across the street from the courthouse. Their phone number is 637-1713. Thank you for your time and attention.